So I did forget to mention how this actually all happens. So in the event that you're doing a repair or a replacement or actually building a garage, the way I started was I got up on the roof. I took a ladder, just put it up against the side. I already knew I was going to replace this plywood, so I didn't really care that there wasn't a fascia board to lean it against. I just put it over the joist as best as I could to support the ladder. And what I did was I got up there with a pair of gloves and pulled the shingles off by hand as much as possible and threw them over there in the pile. And then once that was done, I realized removing the plywood was much easier if I took a circular saw and cut straight all the way up to the ridge beam, up the middle of the plywood between each joist. So here would be a cut, here would be a cut, here would be a cut, etc. And you remove those pieces one by one. Makes it a lot easier. And here, you know, I just took a handsaw and marked my lines and cut it nice and straight, and then just started to replace it exactly how it was built, with a couple of exceptions. I have gone ahead and made the corners more solid. I added in extra joist or extra stud here. I put up a header board. Well, not really a header. It's not really a top plate. Well, I guess it's a top plate. Put a top plate in that wasn't there before. Same on the other side. That just meant cutting the joists, or the studs a little shorter to fit that in. And then same over here, I've reinforced the corner. This was a 3-stick corner before, which means previously there was just this one here, and then another one like this, but on the inside. I don't understand why people don't just do solid corners. It costs you an extra 2x4. Who cares? Just use 4 2x4s, not 3. It's so much easier, and then you don't have to worry about insulating the corners. Because I am particular about making sure everything is nice and insulated. Anyway, one nice lucky find was that there is actually a conduit pipe there, and I've got to figure out where it terminates. So I could run some electrical power into the garage at some point, or who knows, maybe I'll just put a backup system in here. So what you could do is run a conduit to the house, to the amp panel, have some sort of backup system in here, tie it into the grid sub panel in the garage, and basically feed your own house power. So you would disconnect from the city power, your backup system would come online, and when power is restored, you turn this back off and you reconnect to the city power. And so let's see here. Putting up walls pretty simple. I think most people know how to frame a wall. You make your bottom plate, you cut your studs to length, you make your top plate, and you follow the code lines on how many nails and what kind to use. In this case, using, oh god, 3.5 inch nails. I think those are D16. You use 2 of those end, or you can use 3 of them toe-nailed. And then there's a whole other variety of nails that you can use to accomplish the same task. Nailing patterns for your header. Here, important to note, this is an LVL beam. I didn't really talk about that. It comes in 2 really big pieces, and those are 1 3/4 each, which makes it a 3.5 inch thick when you slap 2 together. And then that's because it's less than 12 inches, it just needs 2 rows of nails all the way across, spaced at like, oh, I think it was 12 minimum, 16 minimum, I can't remember. So I just kind of went overboard and did them every like 12 inches. It's turned out great. It's not going anywhere. It's not even solidly built yet, and I'm very confident in the structure. And then these pieces here, they're just 2x4. They're gonna get upgraded to 2x6. And there was a second one here. I pulled that out just because it's gonna get replaced anyway. That's not doing anything, because this is used to tie the two ends of the garage together so that it has a little bit more rigidity. And you can see there's just one nail. When I upgrade to the 2x6 material, we're gonna go with like 3 nails per cross member. Not really sure what those would be called. Whatever's tying the two ends of the joist together to make a truss looking deal. And then if you're doing a repair and replacing the garage basically one for one, the easiest way to go is just take everything down, take the top excuse me, take the time to properly take down each piece individually, and you can use those pieces as templates. So you can see there's like the old doorway. I basically just reproduced it. I measured it, cut it the same way. Same thing with the joists. You see there's the joist I took down, the pile, and all I've done is transferred the marks and cut it exactly the same way. So even if you can't do math and you know nothing about framing, if you can copy somebody, you can do this. You just gotta copy what they did and pay attention to how it was done. You'll be perfectly fine. Hey, anybody can do this. Otherwise, looking good. The only kind of weird thing I found recently is while I'm raking and cleaning up, there's a bunch of buried plastic over here, and the dirt's completely uneven and going up on the wall. So I gotta pull all this out, pull the roots out, and re-level this. But there's plenty of dirt there for me to make this nice and level and fill in these voids. So we'll see about that.